work out.
I agree. We're live, and I agree.
Yeah,
we should be lifting dumbbells.
Yeah, like while you're talking, I'll be lifting. When I'm talking, you lift.
I'll be lifting.
Yeah, we work out and get ripped while we're doing this show.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Why not?
That's why I always stand to do the show. I don't like sitting down. I feel like I have more energy standing up personally. We're live across all platforms, not all on the planet, but all platforms out we're live on.
We're getting
YouTube.
there, though.
We will be sooner than later. What I really liked about this show already, Ian, is that before we even started, we already had the context warning slapped onto the live stream on YouTube.
What did we say? Did I say COVID?
Well, the title is, if you hated COVID tyranny, root for this team. And equal justice is here now, right? Right?
Yeah, equal justice for everyone.
So before we get into talking about the stupid Hunter Biden stuff, I want to give people who hated the COVID tyranny a sports team to root for. You all right?
Hold on, Brad. I lost my... you keep going. Just pretend I'm not... Just pretend I didn't do this.
All right, well...
I wanted to stand. You were standing, and I took that as a challenge.
All right. Thank you, Forrest Mommy. Happy belated birthday to me. My birthday was on Sunday. So tell your friends about the show as a birthday gift to me. I appreciate that. All right. I know a lot of you don't follow sports, but for those who do, if you want to pull for a team that, in my opinion, is worth pulling for, the College World Series starts in a few days, I think. Root for NC State. I'm going to tell you why. North Carolina State. During the 2021 College World Series, North Carolina State went on a pretty amazing run. I follow college baseball. My brother played college baseball at Georgia Tech. That's where I got my comedy chops heckling baseball players when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. So I'm very fond of college baseball. It's exciting to watch, and NC State was on quite a run that year, and they tore through the tournament. The tournament starts with 64 teams, and then 8 of those teams go to the College World Series. Now, the way the College World Series works is there's two 4-team brackets, and those teams play a double elimination tournament, and the winner of those 2 brackets meet in the College World Series final, and they play a best-of-3 series for the title. Now, NC State had blown through the tournament. They were not in like a Pete Buttigieg way. I mean, they're dominating people, and
they were their way through the tournament.
Yes, exactly, and they were undefeated in the College World Series. In the winners bracket, 1 game away from going to the College World Series baseball final. All they had to do was beat Vanderbilt, a team who came through the losers bracket, who they had already beaten earlier in the tournament 1 time. Now, for Vanderbilt to overcome NC State, they would have had to have beaten NC State twice. Odds were against Vanderbilt until something happened before that first of potentially 2 matchups between NC State and Vanderbilt, and that was right before the game. 14 of NC State's 27 players were ruled ineligible for the game.
What?
If you know anything about baseball, ruling 14 players out, which most of them were their best players, and leaving the team with only 13 players, they had 9 position players and then a couple of pitchers left. This is an impossible task to ask a team to beat another high-level team with just that. I mean, you're going to get blown out is what everybody was thinking. Yet NC State still almost beat Vanderbilt.
Wow.
They lost 3-1. Why?
Oh, that's a bad news Bears story.
It really is. Why did they have 14 players out? COVID protocols.
Son of a bitch.
COVID protocols came in and took out their best players and over half of their team, leaving their team just dilapidated.
Then and there, they should have identified as women.
Right, yeah, right. Then it would have been oppression.
Yeah.
But here's what happened. Here's why those players got ruled ineligible, because one of their players tested positive for COVID, because the way that the tournament worked was like this. If a player was unvaccinated, then they had to be subjected to a COVID test every other day.
Are they still doing that? This is 2020.
No, this is 2021. This is 2021.
Okay.
I'm telling you the backstory.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And they had to do every other day COVID test, and one of their players tested positive, and then through contact tracing, remember that? Mm-hmm. They found that his roommate had whatever. It linked to all these other players. All these other players had not even tested positive. It was contact tracing that took out 14 players. And those 14 players on NC State were all unvaccinated players, while the ones that remained were vaccinated, and while Vanderbilt had no players out. Because Vanderbilt was at the forefront of pushing the vaccine. They helped create the vaccine, and their coach pushed the vaccine on they did what they were told to do, Vanderbilt did. And they were rewarded for it by having their opponent have all of their team taken away. And NC State's coach, NC State did not require the vaccine. They didn't mandate it like Vanderbilt school did. Vanderbilt, they mandated it over their school. And when asked about the vaccine, NC State's coach said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, my job is to coach these kids at baseball and make them men or something like that, not to indoctrinate them, which is not the kind of thing that the COVID, tyranny wants to hear. And I believe he was punished for it, because not only did they take away 14 of NC State's players, before the start of the next game, because Vanderbilt still had to beat NC State one more time, they just went ahead and called the game off and ruled NC State ineligible and out of the tournament, and they gave the game to Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Because they fell in line, and NC State did not fall in line. It was one of the...
If anyone on Vanderbilt's team felt good about that, they're shit.
It's absolute shit. And it's... So I have seen... my brother was very close to getting to the College World Series. And a game that they lost, bottom of the last inning, 2 outs. My brother was pitching... 2-run hit, he should have been a strikeout. The whole crowd's going crazy. Everybody's devastated when you're that age. These college kids and me, when I was a young kid, first time I ever heard my mom swear. My mom sat in the bleachers saying just words I never knew my mother could say, because of how heartbroken everybody was over that. And those kids had this once in a lifetime opportunity taken away from them because of this political bullshit. Now, some of these kids are still on the team. This is 3 years ago. Okay. Last night, NC State, same coach, some of the same players. They defeated UGA, who had defeated Tech. They defeated UGA in a best-of-3 series to get back to the College World Series, and I hope they beat the shit out of everybody there. I hope they win it, and I hope their coach rubs it in people's faces. You're never going to get back.
I'm convinced. I'm an NC State fan. What's their mascot? I don't even know their mascot.
Wolfpack. I don't know how that's a single mascot.
I'm a Wolfpacker.
Yes, be a Wolfpack. So you see there the article there. NC State. Oh yeah. Eliminated from Men's College World Series because of COVID protocols. Vanderbilt advances to the finals. It was such a, what's up, JC? It was such a tragedy. Not a tragedy. I shouldn't say it like that, but it was just the shining example of the bullshit. They're trying to make a lesson, an example out of that coach, because he said some things before. That wasn't the only thing he said that was against that. And Vanderbilt was totally perfect. Little Fauci, I'll suck Fauci off. And they got rewarded for it. So go for NC State, even if you don't like it. It's something to root for.
Yeah.
For a worthy cause, in my opinion. Yeah, go for that Wolfpack. I don't know what their mascot. I mean, I don't know what the individual mascot is. I feel like a wolf pack is a pack of things.
Yeah, wolf pack. Remember that we used to do that bit. I'm Wolf Blitzer.
Ooh, yeah. Our idiot losers, our famed, beloved idiot losers show.
I'm Wolf Blitzer.
Many of you might remember that show. Yeah, a lot of great 2 episodes of that show.
2 episodes. We're going to be coming out with a movie.
Right. Yeah. No, we're going to come back after like 12 years and do a little bit of a reunion show. There. So there's what he said. There's his actual quote right here. My job is to teach them baseball, make sure they get an education and keep them on the right track. That's the NC State coach. He said in frustration, but I don't try to indoctrinate my kids with my values or opinions.
Good for him.
Obviously, we talk about a lot of things, but these are young men that can make their own decisions, and that's what they did. Yeah, good for him, but that's not what they wanted.
Right. Well, I mean, like Fauci said, make life difficult for them.
Bend over.
And if it make life difficult, then they lose their ideological bullshit.
Vanderbilt researchers take COVID leadership vaccine development role. Yeah, they were at the forefront of all that bullshit. So fuck them. Yeah.
Oh well.
All right. So now on to the story that's all over the news today.
What's
Which have you heard about this? Did you hear what happened today, Ian?
Did something big happen today?
There was some pretty big news, and well, we found out today that the justice system is fair.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
know
I
that?
did hear about that.
Dude, the justice system works
it's fair.
perfectly
It works.
fine.
It works.
There's no two-tier justice system today, and the reason that we found that out is we have proof of it here.
Well, it's a sad day.
Well, it's a sad-ish kind of day because we know the justice system is fair after
right.
Well, yeah, after Hunter Biden was found guilty in federal court of money laundering. Oh wait, no, Hunter Biden was found guilty in court for sex trafficking. No, public masturbation. No, Hunter Biden was found guilty in court for lying on a gun purchase form about being addicted to drugs. So that's how we know the justice system is fair. Is because he got convicted of the least of his crimes.
Right. I mean,
The
Trump filled
others were ignored.
a form incorrectly. Hunter Biden filled out a form incorrectly. Fair is fair, right?
Absolutely. And I feel the sadness, but also the I get itness that the media is trying to portray today, which here's the media today kind of, it was pretty evident that he was guilty, but oh man, it's a sad day. He's a sad day. Here's an example of some, unlike Trump, who was just a violent, atrocity committing bastard after he was found guilty. Hunter Biden.
Trump wasn't even addicted to crack, Brad.
No,
He wasn't even
He didn't
addicted
even
to crack.
overcome a crack addiction.
Yeah, he didn't even sleep with his brother's widow and then turn her into a crackhead.
And he didn't even ignore a child he had with a prostitute for 4 years.
Yeah.
Only to finally begrudgingly admit
And that's
that
why
kid
Trump
existed.
needs to go down.
Yeah, because Hunter Biden overcame his own, drug addiction and
Yeah, with
personality
art.
and family.
With art.
And, a lot of people were there supporting him. Jill Biden was actually there yesterday, I think, in court. I don't know if anybody noticed her because she was wearing the same dress. They just thought a vase was sitting in the front row. Here's Jill Biden. Actually, I have Jill Biden here with me again. There you go, Jill. That famous dress she likes to wear. But here's some of the coverage of how just like Hunter is just the most perfect example of a man who has been reformed. He's remorseful.
He's
and
he's accountable. He's an account. He's responsible for what he did.
Yep.
He's facing up to it.
I think he could be a good youth pastor. Church leader now, as transformed as he is. I mean, looking at those court sketch room drawings,
Dude,
that's a man
now
that's
would
put
be the
together.
perfect time for him to relapse and just run naked through the streets or something.
Relapse. I don't think he ever quit doing it. I mean, the only picture they have of him painting is what looks like him smoking crack just over a canvas. It was already painted.
You think anyone's doing like fakes, like Hunter Biden fakes, and trying to pass him off? But hey, I got an original Hunter Biden.
You think is there people at home jerking off on a canvas and then trying to sell it?
Yeah, we got to look through some of his artwork one night.
Well, I don't know that he's painted any of his artwork. Nobody's ever seen him except that one straw thing.
Right. He says he never knows. He says he knows where he's going to begin, but he never knows how it's going to end.
Right.
That's his process.
He's just so artistic,
Dude,
and
he's
that
an
he's
artist,
that he's full of shit. That's not a process. That's someone who's full of shit.
I wish
is
he
what
would
that
just
is.
wear a beret. I wish he would wear a beret, like a French beret
And a ball gag.
and a ball gag.
Yeah, I wish you would do that.
God.
Yeah. So,
All right.
you know what Trump needs to do.
What's that?
Trump needs to come out and say, if you elect me, the first thing I'll do on day one as a dictator is I will pardon Hunter Biden.
Oh my gosh. What? That would be the classiest move ever.
Yes, especially since Joe says he's not going to pardon
And you know
him.
how it would get spun.
Right.
It would
It's
get.
an anti-Semitic attack.
It's the anti-Semitic attack, and he's racist.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, how would they spin it, you think, if he did that?
Nothing is. it may look like Donald Trump committed a selfless act, but let's take a deeper look. And then there would be this long explanation about how Donald Trump seemed to do this, but this really just benefits him. Because, he only did this to get a higher approval rating and to make people like him.
And to make Hunter vote for him.
And
possibly,
to make Hunter, and
Joe
probably,
said
yeah. Oh my gosh. What if he got Hunter to sign a promise? He said, no, man, what if he made Joe vote for him?
If Hunter gets Joe to vote for me, I'll put Hunter Biden in my cabinet with that libertarian I promised. It'll be Hunter and the libertarian, and it'll be not Mike Pence, it'll be Rudy Giuliani.
I don't even know what cabinet role Hunter would be good for. I don't think there's any gas and oil cabinet member. I mean, energy, maybe, the energy secretary.
I mean, the head of drug distribution.
Yeah, he'd be a good energy secretary.
He could, what's the ATF? Who does the drug stuff? He could do the drug stuff.
Oh,
he knows all the people.
Yeah,
he knows all the people. He could be an
everybody.
informant.
Yeah, just hand over his cell phone. Everyone's arrested.
Irie says the whole country still has no customer service due to COVID. That's a very good point.
Oh yeah,
it really doesn't. Point. There is zero.
It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity in the marketplace that someone is going to exploit very soon.
Yeah, like Hunter Biden.
Seriously, it's as simple as good customer service. I'm telling you.
Right. Well, all they're trying to do now is they're trying to make an AI that gives good customer service, but they can't stop fucking it to make it work.
Well, that's how that's how technology works.
That's why you make Hunter Biden the head of AI.
You have to be able to have sex with it or have sex.
That's the first thing Americans do with any new invention is all right. How can we fuck it?
Yeah, can I fuck it? Okay.
Yeah. And if you say no, you'd be like, God dang, I'll try.
Yeah.
And they'll try.
I mean, it was porn and pizza that brought online payments.
That's what Hunter Biden grew up on. It's porn and pizza.
Porn and pizza.
Here's one little how they described Hunter Biden upon hearing. This is Politico. It says, Biden remained perfectly still as a court clerk read the verdict aloud. Before leaving the courtroom, he hugged his lawyers, kissed his wife, and fondled his dead brother's widow. I added that last part in, obviously. You know what would have been funny is if that 4-year-old or 5-year-old kid now, they actually came to the trial.
I know.
And so Hunter Biden's like putting papers next to his head. Just don't let that kid see me. It's the only person he's avoiding is that 5-year-old child. No, like, take me to prison.
Yeah. She's going to grow up very well adjusted. That kid
is going to be so. Is there any job that kid's going to have? I feel sorry saying that, but like, hopefully he gives her enough money to give her a good education.
Well, the mother should take the money and the kid and move to a small town and just
fuck everybody.
Fuck everybody.
That's not where you're going with that.
No, that's the porn version of
right.
it.
Sorry, everything.
No, I just think they should just stay off. Like, don't let that kid have social media.
No, absolutely not, because they're going to hear horrible, horrible things.
Yeah.
I loved how the reporting on this. Oh, by the way, anybody listening, if you can find, I looked for it a little bit before the show, and I haven't been able to find it. Hopefully I can find it tonight. If you can find a phone number to contact, like a tip line to contact Anderson Cooper show or Caitlin Collins show, which is on after. Anderson Cooper is 8 to 9. Caitlin Collins is 9 to 10. I want to call in and pretend to be one of the jurors that was on Hunter's case, because they've been having them on anonymously, and I've listened to enough of it where I think I could possibly convince them to have me on. I just haven't found a phone number yet. So if anybody can find that, I would love to do that. Possibly in the show. If I can't do it today, then I'll try to do it tomorrow. I know that that's possible because I know people who do it. I just can't find the freaking number. Okay. So because they had this juror number 10 come on. And juror number 10, which it's like they said, can we find the second stupidest person in Delaware? The guy sounds like a South Park character because he kept saying, okay, we met for 3 hours. We first went in there and there was 6 and 6. Okay. He kept saying okay. Like it's a joke they're playing on us. And then he echoed the same thing. Strangely, the juror echoed the exact same thing that CNN had been echoing all day.
Wow.
About how sad it was to have to witness Hunter Biden's little girl, his daughter, had to go on the stand, and she was supposed to testify for him, but then the mean prosecution used the information given, and they turned her against her. They made her testify basically against her father. This poor little girl, she shouldn't have to do this. I mean, the little girl is she's only 30 years old. She's only 30. She shouldn't have to do this. They talk about her like she's 6 years old.
I know.
She's 30 years old. He showered with her. Joe showered with her. They've all showered together.
That's a weird
dozens
family.
of times.
That is a very weird family. You know, do you think every one of their houses has just a locker room instead of a bathroom?
Yeah, and they all grab each other by the pussy.
They just all go in the locker room, grab each other by the pussy.
Right. Yeah, you know, Joe. Yeah, no, I can't. The Biden house smells weird. And
look, this is something I was thinking about the other day. You're an orphan. It's Christmas morning. Would you rather wake up? Would you hold on? Hold on. All right,
sad day.
Listen. You're an orphan and it's Christmas morning. Would you rather wake up in Joe Biden's house or Donald Trump's house?
I would. That's a good question. I would probably say.
Come on, that's an easy answer.
If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably say Donald Trump's house.
Yeah.
Which house?
Mar-a-Lago.
Not that it matters.
Mar-a-Lago. You get to wake up in Mar-a-Lago.
The Delaware Beach.
You know,
that Delaware
Trump
Beach
is
beautiful,
charmer.
Ian.
If Trump had a little orphan kid that he had to make
Here's
the best
a little
Christmas
orphan kid. We took him right out of Joe's shower. Right out of Joe's shower. It would be
way more fun than spending Christmas morning at Joe Biden's.
We had Santa Claus go pull him out of Joe's arms.
Yeah, we don't die. Joe wouldn't give toys. Joe doesn't give toys.
Joe gives.
Let's have a shower.
He sniffs people.
Let's go take a shower.
Look, I hate calling an old man I'm just speculating, but he's kind of feels like maybe he did some pedophilia. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just being.
He's got that vibe.
Yeah, he's got that. Here's what he did to celebrate. Did you see him during this Juneteenth?
Oh yeah.
Video.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm gonna copy.
There's so much going on in this. Yeah. Trump's house, no question. Yeah, you're right. Well, Trump's house, by the way, because which one's the daughter? Ivanka? Is it, whatever the daughter is. Not Trump's youngest daughter, Tiffany, but the other one. She's a looker, so that's definitely another reason why you can go to Trump's house. All right. You still there? Can you hear me, Ian?
Me? Yeah, I got you.
All right. So, all right, here we go.
I was just thinking about how much wine Kamala's had.
Kamala has a bottle of Merlot and an Ambien with breakfast.
And who is the
morning.
guy to the left of,
this is
right of?
This is what I love about this image in this video here.
What the fuck is going on?
Is they focus on Joe freezing in this video, but then you have this cross-dresser with. He looks like this guy used to play for the Knicks in the '90s. Latrell Sprewell. That's Latrell Sprewell in a dress over there.
What the fuck?
And then
that is bananas.
So, and then you have this guy who. So this is George Floyd's brother. So, although I think it's Tyler Perry dressed up as
that
George
is Tyler
Floyd's
Perry
brother.
with a few pounds on him.
Yeah, and Joe is the only. Well,
maybe actually he's about the same size. Isn't he?
I say Joe's the only white guy. You have, Kamala's hubby,
and then they got a school crossing guard down here.
In the yellow jacket. Oh, right.
Yeah, you got a couple of school crossing guards. So there's the ones who make sure Joe gets across the street safely.
Let's watch it a couple times here.
Yeah. I'm excited.
The first time I'll watch it, then I'm going to tell you something to focus on the second time we watch it.
Okay. He looks like a cardboard cutout. He was instructed not to move. Come on. He was told to stand still, right? Or he's just lost. What is going on?
And the George Floyd's brother's got to help him. If you're just listening, look at that. It looks like he's talking about sucking D with his fist there. How gay is Dougie there? Dougie's the gayest person since.
Dougie has like a little vibrating butt plug that Kamala controls remotely. He's wearing it all the time.
And the second he takes it out, he
Yeah.
gets hell from her.
Yeah.
He gets hell from her. He's not
She
moving.
is so aware that the camera is on her. She is so aware of it.
She always is. It'd be funny if you turned it around and you see Dougie and Kamala dancing, and there's just a picture of Montel Williams with Kamala as the side chick up there. You know about that, right?
What's that?
Kamala
Sorry.
Williams used to be Kamala Harris used to be Montel Williams' side chick.
I do know that. I remember. I saw a photo of that.
Yeah,
They went to some awards show together.
yeah. I don't know what all that is. All right, so now watch it again. I'm gonna take some of that music down a little bit. It's a little bit loud. But so now watch Doug. So I've always been of the opinion. So that's obviously an arranged marriage, but I think Doug is some sort of operative and some sort of handler for Kamala or maybe a little bit Joe. Watch Doug notice Joe completely out of it, and then he kind of gets a little distracted. And he looks down a little bit.
Okay.
There he is looking over. There he is. He's pretending to be straight. You see him? He knows he's shaking his shoulder. You see? So right there, he sees Joe. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So he notices Joe is fucked up, and then he looks behind Joe. I think he's signaling to somebody. I think he's like, Joe's having an incident. Some people think a bathroom incident. I don't know what else it is, but I think he's looking over to get somebody's attention. Looks back. Because he's tense. He's very tense. And it has nothing to do with this transvestite next to him.
No. That's a Secret Service agent.
Yeah, you're right. Latrell Sprewell, the Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at Kamala. Oh, he points at Kamala. I love nobody but you. Look at Joe. You see him look over again. I think that Dougie is one of Joe's handlers. I'm starting to believe that.
You think he's a eunuch?
Maybe he might be like in
He might
Game
be
of
a
Thrones.
eunuch. Like in Game of Thrones, I think he might be a eunuch.
He was a Hollywood. I'm just saying this because this is how he was described. He was a Hollywood Jewish lawyer, very powerful in Hollywood. Yeah.
Wow.
And Kamala and him got married, and nobody talks about that anymore. But that is how he was described before they got married.
Well, you're making baseless claims.
I'm making.
Those are baseless. That's my favorite trigger. Base. Everything's baseless.
Well, you know what's not baseless are these short. Who put these tiny little shorts on this neon? What is this? It's like a green apple here, next to George Floyd's brother. This outfit, her shorts are way too short. She needs to get a little more space between her thighs before she wears shorts that tiny, in my opinion.
Yeah. She likes Baconators.
Her Indian family is so embarrassed of her. No, you're right, Grumpy Gnome. That's the funny. Like Kamala's not even technically African American. Like I don't care about any of that, but she acts like she has some claim with this identity politics she plays.
Right.
Her family, and she's very culturally diverse. There's no doubt about that. But she's not a mom and not an African American. I tell you what, though, Latrell Sprewell, African American. I mean, that guy's got to be 6'3" right there. I would love to see him whoop everybody's ass. Like if there was somebody who came in and he just takes somebody out. Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. And then that's the best secret. Like that's the smartest way to dress if you're a Secret Service agent. Nobody would suspect you.
Right.
Like I always thought if I was an undercover cop, I'd drive like a neon green car because no one's going to think an undercover cop would be in that car. Right?
No. No, I think a poser was in like a neon green car.
Yeah, like a neon green Challenger.
That dress is one of those people who are dog people. They wear the dog suits.
Yeah, see now that's exactly the logic behind it, know?
Or a priest. That's going to get your best dark secret information.
Or the Pope. The Pope just dressed just like the Pope.
Dude, the Pope, remember the term we learned for the Pope? The Pope says, he says
Fagiaggio.
Fagiaggio. Fagiaggio. Fagiaggio.
All these Fagiaggios.
Out of my churchio. So, all right. So check this out. I came across this video the other day. Oh, wait. I want to show you Biden. So Biden did a speech. Then I'll show you this other video. It's a video about an audit. It's like 2 minutes. Is what I'm going to show you after this, where they say, here's what's wrong with the FBI's undercover intelligence operations. And it's like, it sounds like everything. Like, I can't believe they say it in a nonchalant. But this is Joe Biden who gave a speech at a Moms Demand Action for gun safety right after Hunter's conviction. And that's the thing about Hunter's conviction is it's going to be appealed by his lawyers. And the argument, which they've argued already, is that the law is unconstitutional. And so it's like, that's what Republicans want. So that's a little bit of a weird, people don't know how to feel about it. And you could see that in the coverage of it.
Hey,
I
if
don't know
that's
if
what
that's
it
gonna
takes,
happen.
fine. He's got another trial coming up in September.
Right.
Doesn't he have
Well,
like a
which one
tax? I think it's
He has
the
a tax evasion one.
The tax evasion one, and I think that one's the that's like a good 10-year.
Yeah, I don't think they're really going to get him on anything though. They're talking about how he's facing potentially 25 years, just like they say Trump's.
No, I know.
And he's a first offender. Maybe he gets 12 months. Biden said he would not pardon him.
No,
Didn't
it's
say
silly.
He wouldn't commute him though.
They're doing
commute
this so
him.
they can soften the blow when they make Trump accept the nomination from on house arrest. And what the world
ankle
will,
bracelet?
yeah, dude, what the world is going to see when that happens is they're going to see one candidate in jail and the president who put him there. That's how it's going to play.
In the cell together?
No. He's outside of the cell, Brad.
I would
Come on,
love to
follow
see Trump
me.
make Hunter Biden his prison bitch, personally.
Oh my God. I still think that one way to solve this is just make them each be president together.
Co-presidents, like
Co-presidents.
You said, they have to sleep in the race car bunk beds.
Yep, race car bunk beds, and we
Yeah.
get to watch it.
That would be fun reality show.
Trump,
I mean, that's what
Trump wins that reality show. Come on, right?
Is it a competition?
Yeah, it's a competition show. At the end, one of them gets to finally be president. So
They get
for
to keep
4 years
Hunter.
they live together. Yeah. And they'll be, we want to see it. They got to be president until they die. We're not letting either one of these guys go. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
It might not be long. So Hunter, or not Hunter, Joe they must have gave him the amphetamine shot before some of this speech. I'm just going to play some of it because he
Moms
says
demand
some
action.
very unintelligible things here.
I disagree with some of my own party and on the other side about a lot of things, but at least there's some rational argument they have as part of their argument. What in God's name is the rationale for taking away the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms? After a school shooting in Iowa
Look at his face.
killed a student and a teacher, my predecessor was asked about it. You remember what he said? He said, have to get over it.
Yeah.
Hell no, we don't have to get over it. We got to stop it. We got to stop it and stop it now.
I mean, very intense. Very intense.
That is a guy who's very, very angry with his waiter.
Absolutely. He did not get his tea wasn't sweet. He ordered it sweet. And his salad came out wrong.
Yeah.
Steak cooked wrong.
And my sauteed onions are cold.
Yeah, and the flashlight under the table stopped working. Because you know he's got a flashlight under that podium there. So that's how they keep him awake. Look how angry he looks. Moms demand action.
More children are killed in America by guns than cancer and car accidents combined. My predecessor told the NRA convention recently, he's proud that, quote, I did nothing on guns when I was president. And by doing nothing, he made the situation considerably worse. That's why every town, why this summit, why all of you here today are so...
So he's on amphetamines. He's racing through his words. That's what that is.
It's got to be.
damn important. We need you. We need you to overcome the unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby, gun manufacturers, so many politicians when they oppose common sense gun legislation. I used to be when I was no longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of
You fucking liar. You were never a professor.
What,
you
like,
piece
what
of
did he
shit.
just say there? Let's hear that.
He said he was a
sentence again.
professor. When I became a professor at a university, I think that's what he just said.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it took him a minute to even, I think he skipped a couple sentences.
You here today are so damn important. We need you. We need you to overcome the unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby, gun manufacturers, so many politicians when they oppose common sense gun legislation. I used to be when I
Used to be
I used to be a law. He's trying to stop
law
himself
professor?
from lying. He can't help it. He's a pathological liar.
Do
And
you
he
know anybody who
realizes he's
took
about to do it.
law classes from Hunter, or not from Hunter, from Joe during his break from government? You know anybody? You know his wife does actually teach at Delaware Community College. I was looking at that and I was like, man, I would like to go
let's
take her
enroll.
class.
Let's enroll. Let's enroll in her class.
If you're in Delaware, you should take her class.
Yeah, take her class.
I wonder if anybody really takes it, or she just stands there, looking like a potted plant in the corner.
No longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
No, he didn't.
I don't know. He never taught a class.
They might have made him an honorary professor. What
Yeah.
he did I don't know if it was the University of Penn. It might have been. What he did was he took classified documents there and stored them there until last year. Is what he did.
Before that, I taught a constitutional law class. And so
No,
I
you
taught
didn't.
The Second Amendment.
He taught a constitutional law class on the Second Amendment. Is that look? I
gotta
guess I should
verify
fact
that.
check that.
Yeah, we got to fact check that. That
Did
doesn't sound
Joe
right.
Biden maybe did teach a constitutional law class on the Second Amendment? Professor Biden shows up for class in 2008. Students who registered for a law class with Joe Biden before he became Obama's. So this is before. He says that he did this after. Before he was president, he was Professor Biden to his Widener law students. And there's a picture of him like 30 years ago standing in what looks like a. Look at this picture. Hold on. I'll put this. This does not look like a law class to me. Does it look like one to you? This looks like your neighbor's back porch that you're staging a film set on. Why is there a house?
Yeah, it looks like he's just standing in the cafeteria.
Yeah, what is this? This is not.
This is not a classroom.
No, it's not.
They gave. Yeah, come on.
I mean, if he took I would love it though if he became a professor. I would take his class. All right, let's hear a little bit more of this speech. Yeah. Do you remember how that goes? The blood of liberty wash.
Oh, something, like from time to time, the
tree of liberty.
The tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of patriots, right?
Yeah, I believe it's. No, I don't know if it's the blood of the patriots. I don't know. You know what? Maybe I
The
shouldn't
tyrants, the
ridicule
blood of tyrants,
I
the
shouldn't
blood of
ridicule him
tyrants.
because I wouldn't have. I would have only got as far as he did as well. So.
Yeah, the blood of tyrants. That's what it is.
They're all laughing at his. He means it.
Yeah, but you and I aren't making claims that we were the top of our law class.
No, after I was
You
vice
were
president.
you were the top of your law
I was,
class
actually.
until you dropped out.
That's true. I was.
I
the
know,
top 5
I
in my
know.
law class.
I know.
I was.
I bet you
And
were real
now-
good in the moot court
Yeah,
stuff.
and I quit. I quit to be an improviser.
Good. Yeah, man. Well, I was just a bartender, Brad. I was just a.
Why'd you quit law school?
Friendly neighborhood
Improv
bartender.
comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like quitting to be an astronaut. Oh, listen to this. So he's talking about having the guns. It sounds like he's saying they're going to need F-15s because the government is so armed here. This is actually.
Oh, I know. This is one of my favorite things is when he says, you need an F-15 to take on the American government, and it's like, yeah, okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah, he's right. He
good,
didn't.
listen.
Yeah, no, you need F-15. Can they not train him out of that?
I can't. You're not. We can't see this, Brad.
Oh God, thank you. How long have I been?
No,
doing that?
I've been sitting here thinking you've been trying to figure it out.
No, I've been watching it by myself this entire
Sorry,
time.
Brad. This is all right. We're getting better. We're getting better at
Yeah.
this.
Here I am making fun of how retarded Joe Biden is while demonstrating
Yeah,
my
I
own
thought you were just
retardedness.
trying to fill while you were trying to get this.
No, I was reacting to. Yeah, no, and I'll pull it back now. Here we go.
So many politicians, when they oppose common sense gun legislation. I used to be when I was no longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Before that, I taught a constitutional law class, and so I taught the Second Amendment. There's never been a time that says you can own anything you want. You couldn't own a cannon during the Civil War. No, I'm serious. Think about it. How many times have you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty. To wash of those. Give me a break. No, I mean it. Seriously.
Give me a break, though. That's, often what the country
Yeah,
was
so
kind of founded on. It's a
this-
Thomas Jefferson quote.
They're,
believe.
it's just frustrating because that we all know what he's doing. He has this confidence because he knows that there is a intelligent state that is now completely intertwined with with Silicon Valley, and there's nothing anyone can do. Even if Donald Trump gets in a second time, I mean, what's he going to do? Is he really going to dissolve all these corrupt institutions? Is that really going to be something he can accomplish?
Well, that's
Maybe,
a question that a lot of libertarians ask. So libertarians might be retarded in their own right, and I'm libertarian, little L. I learned. But like they do ask the right questions, and the question of how is that going to happen, and so Vivek is one who seems to have thought about that. I don't know that it's
that's
actually
good.
possible.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Trump will listen to some people like that. That would be, I listened to. I told you earlier today that I hate watch David Pakman. Whenever I want to feel like viscerally angry, I'll just watch.
That's when you get that ball gag out.
I just get that ball gag out and I start.
Yeah, you got to grind it.
Beating myself with a cat of nine tails.
Yeah, right.
And he was shit. I just lost my train of thought on that. Anyways, it'll come back to me. What we were just talking.
Well, we
about
were
before.
talking about. Can they really dismantle these in the Fed?
Oh yeah. So he was saying that even if Biden does get reelected, and let's say he does have some sort of catastrophic event, I trust the people around him to make better choices than the people that Trump would be surrounded with. And I just think that's that's an admission that I think people like that are more comfortable. They feel comfortable having this giant, mommy and daddy state to take care of them.
Yeah,
he needs it. He could not handle.
Well, he's been in government his entire life. He's been in this control apparatus. His entire career and power and wealth has come from being one of these fucking shills that lie to people and control them through bureaucracy. And
well, and there's a lot of individuals. I mean, almost half the country that would not know how to operate if someone wasn't telling them what to do.
Right, and so absolutely right, and that's one thing. So during the libertarian debates, I watched a bunch of the debates before I moderated the one in Georgia. Grumpy Gnome along with Jake and the Liberty Libations guys, they invited me to come there, and I had such a good time, and I learned so much. And I wanted to know, so Jacob Hornberger is was a candidate for the Libertarian presidential nomination. That he sticks to his principles. The guy's 72 years old. He's got fantastic energy. And honestly, I've come to like the guy just because he's got some fight and some fire. And while I disagree with him, one of his positions that I disagreed with, I was just kind of looking at it from how do you help bridge that gap where people feel so dependent on government? Because one of his positions was end Social Security tomorrow, which I don't disagree that Social Security and all that is enslavement. It really, these programs, but to end it tomorrow, these people
that's as
will
radical
feel.
That is not thinking of the consequences. Because that's as radical.
Well, his belief is that that people in the private sector would scoop up and help, and in some cases that would happen, but
not fast enough.
Yeah,
not fast enough. It'd be too much of a shock to the system. You couldn't do that. What you'd have to do is you'd have to take a certain age limit. I don't know where the cutoff would be, where you would start, and those people we would have to figure out some other way for them to get Social Security.
Yeah, the ones who got left out of that, it would, and I'm thinking about,
you can't take the people who are on it are past their income producing years, and that's what's so fucked up about it.
Yeah,
that's the trap, right? So so you have to transition off of it somehow. You can't just work.
I don't know if that was just his messaging where he's getting out his ideal principles for libertarianism. I do admire his ability to commit to his messaging. There's no doubt about that. But you're right. They've gotten people hooked into these things that they feel it's like a drug dealer. Here's the first few free. And then people get hooked on it, and then the next thing you know, they're being federally indicted for lying about being addicted on a form to buy a gun. And they're getting their dead brother's wife hooked on crack. Did you know that came out during the trial? That not only did he hook up with his dead brother's wife, he got her hooked on crack.
I know. What a great man he is for owning up to it. That's the thing that people will say, well, Joe Biden cooperated with the police, and that's with the DOJ, and that's the difference. That's the difference. No, there's other differences too. Or they'll say the same thing about Hunter is like, well, he's owning up to it.
Right. Right. I don't believe for a second that he's clean. I wish that they would actually sentence him to 2 years in a sensory deprivation tank and require him to masturbate the entire time. If he stops, because these are his favorite things, that and crack. And if he stops doing it's like when you give a kid, you catch him smoking a cigarette, you make him smoke the whole box. Let's make Hunter do the entire deprivation tank and masturbate till his dick falls off, and that'll teach him a lesson. What do you think? You think Trump could impose some kind of sentence, or maybe Chase Oliver if he were to win the nomination?
I think you were right though. I think Trump pardoning him would be the best. It
would be hilarious for him to offer that up, because how does Joe react to that? That'd be so funny. It'd be even funnier if you went, I know I promised the libertarians that I was going to commute Ross Ulbricht sentence, even though they say free Ross. I said commute to time serve. I am instead going to free Hunter Biden. I would love to see that. The chaos that would cause. It would be fantastic.
It would be fantastic.
He gets a little bit more here, and then we'll get it. So he got amped up on this, and I think he was trying to I think they said this verdict just came down. We need Joe to be fiery, because you have this thing where Hunter, his appeal could contradict the very message that Joe's delivering right now, Okay. The pro-gun law stuff, while Hunter's appeal, this is why I think he's probably going to commute his sentence so that Hunter doesn't win an appeal, which would go against Joe's legislation and policy and be more pro-Republican. So you commute it, and he gets off, because he's such a really good guy. And you can't keep an artist like that locked up.
No, you can't. He's a genius. We need that, but he'll do a lot of painting behind bars, I bet.
He'll blow a lot of straws behind bars. There's no doubt about that. All right, where did that thing go? Where did that freaking video go? I lost my thing here. All right, there it is. Where's the freak? All right, there it is. Sorry. Here we go.
And by the way, if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, guess what? They need
Who's
F-15s. They don't need.
Who's they?
Rifle.
They Republicans, I guess.
Well, no, he's saying, but they are talking about. It's just the same accusation they always throw out. Anyways, I get very frustrated with this kind of.
He's talking about
shit.
The transgenders.
The
transgenders are
the bravest people in our country.
And by the way, if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about.
Who's they?
So he said they, if they want to take on government, if they get out of line.
They?
So he's talking about. So this is actually Forrest Mommy said earlier about the threat that he's making. So this is a thing they do with him.
He's made it before.
Yeah, he has. You're right. This is an old bumbling man who is making a really fucking wild threat.
Yeah.
They're saying if the government gets out of line, they're not going to need those guns. They'll need, and he says it right here.
F-15s, they don't need.
They'll need fucking F-15s.
Folks, look.
And you see how people don't know how to react to that? Listen to the reaction. Like, the crowd doesn't know how to react to
serious. That. No joke. I'm serious.
That's pretty good, actually. That's good. That your Biden impersonation's coming along.
I'm serious.
No, for a second I thought I hit play. That's your Biden impersonation's coming along. We can do that fake Trump, fake Biden debate we've dreamed of.
We'll get it going.
That's why every town.
All right, yeah.
Why this summit? Why all of
Sorry,
you
I pulled it
here
back
Well, it's a
too
are
much.
little
so
Jimmy
damn
Stewart in
important.
there.
We
Yeah,
need
there
you.
is.
We need you to overcome the unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby.
It's like
gun
drunk
manufacturers,
Jimmy
so many
Stewart.
politicians
Yeah.
when they oppose common sense gun legislation. I used to be a law.
It's like
I
if
know-
Jimmy Stewart
yeah, I
showed
took
up at
it
your
back.
sorry. It's like if Jimmy Stewart showed up at your house at 3:00 in the morning, hammered.
Let me shower with your daughter.
Shower with your daughter.
If you could,
Come
if
on,
you could,
man.
Clarence,
on, man.
I just want to shower with a
Shower,
prepubescent teenager, Clarence.
of Pennsylvania. Before that, I taught a constitutional law class.
Shut
I
up,
taught
Joe.
the Second Amendment. There's never been a time that says you can own anything you want.
Yeah.
There never.
I didn't mean
you
to take
couldn't
back
own
his
a
phone.
cannon during the Civil War. No, I'm serious. Think about it.
No, I'm
How much
serious.
have you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty.
God, shut up. He's such an idiot.
Give me a
He's
break.
fucked. He's high as hell right now.
No, I mean it. Seriously.
He's probably on.
I think he's on Adderall.
Yeah, no, there's, it's too. He's not.
It's a
edgy.
shot though. It's like
Yeah,
an Adderall
there's
shot.
something. He's probably on something that we can't even. That they
Adderall
give-
and butt plugs.
Something
I
they give
think.
to fighter pilots.
Yeah, the new like the DARPA shit he's
Yeah.
on.
And by the way,
The cocaine eye drops, as Josh would say.
if they want to think to take on government if we get out of line, which they're talking again about,
They're talking
guess
again
what?
about?
They need F-15s. They don't need.
I mean, that's fucked up.
Folks, look,
They don't know how to
this
react
is
to
what we're
that.
talking
That's a fucking threat.
Because whether we're Democrats or Republicans,
And that's how he's been his entire life. He's used the apparatus of government to fucking
Yeah.
bully people, but he's an
Yeah.
old man now,
He's
so it
got
seems
a little
like
bit
it's,
of like Lyndon Johnson energy. I think Lyndon Johnson was more of a bastard, but he's up there.
he's probably as racist as Lyndon Johnson
Oh
was.
yeah. No, he's definitely up there.
Meth. Could be
I'd
meth.
be a little more scared of Lyndon Johnson though. I think that guy murdered people, like JFK.
You're right. Yeah. Let's give this another minute. So there's something else he did I wanted you to see.
Do you think YouTube will give you like a warning for if you say JFK? If you
They send me a letter every time I say JFK. They say it again, and RFK is out of the race for good.
because we want our families to be safe. We all want to drop them off at a house of worship, a mall,
Maybe Hunter was
a
like,
movie
"Dad."
theater,
Did you see that? We all want to drop him off at a house of worship, a mall, a movie theater.
yeah,
school, without worrying it's the last time I'm going to get to see them.
Of course.
yeah.
We all want.
Does that happen? Everybody drops their kids off at school and goes, "I hope they don't get shot." Like that's a thought every single day.
If you're dropping your kid off at a mall in 2024, that's probably the last time you'll see them.
yeah.
The malls around here are
drop a
just
kid off at your house. Huh, Biden?
yeah, it's just there's gang wars at the malls around here, basically.
We all want our kids to have the freedom to learn how to read and write in schools instead of learn how to duck and cover, for God's sake.
Yeah, nice line, Joe.
Above all,
So he's got to be hard on the guns because of.
above all, we all agree, we are not finished.
This is what I'm used to.
Always the same line. Always talking about more work.
No single
Watch him
action can
here.
solve the entirety of the gun violence epidemic, but together, our efforts, your efforts, are saving lives.
He's running out of
You can help
steam.
rally a nation with a sense of urgency and seriousness of purpose. You're changing the culture. And we've proven we can do more than just thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Just more than thoughts and prayers. You're changing politics. You're proving that you're powerful and you're relentless, and I mean that. Let me close with this. I know many people here have been impacted by gun violence and are tired.
He
and
makes a
frustrated.
really weird expression.
No, I know. I've been to too many. I've literally spoken with well over 1,000 families.
My son Bo died in an elementary school shooting.
And look in their eyes. You can almost feel that black hole they feel in the center of their chest, like they're being sucked in.
Oh, God.
There's no way out. If they have remaining children, you look at the children and they wonder,
So,
Mommy, Daddy, how about me?
pick me for the shower.
And I know you may wonder, are we ever going to make full progress that we need to make? I'm here to tell you, we have no choice. We cannot
Kid, he
give
looks
up
like the
time
Joker.
for all the lives lost and all those who are still there to save. We're going to get there. I have no illusions about how difficult it may be, but I also have no illusions about the people in this room.
All
You're
right.
changing the attitude of the public. I really mean, I'm going back to why I got here in the first place.
I thought you were closing.
That is to say thank you.
I thought he was too. He gets real
Come up with
maniacal.
all these ideas
thought.
about the laws we can change to make it easier.
Wait,
You're changing people's lives.
now he's whispering.
You're convincing your neighbors and people this is necessary. It's beginning to move. Look what we've already done around the community. Look at the movement you've built. The elected officials.
All right, I must have missed it. No, wait, maybe it's this.
Look at all the mothers' organizations across the country.
Oh, shut up, you plant. No, I might have missed it. He does this weird maniacal thing. Yeah, I think it was earlier. And then he walks off stage. But he did like a weird thing where he leans over, almost tipped over. It must have been earlier in the speech. I don't know about you, but how do you that person? You know what that makes me think of? I remember probably like 10 years ago getting these audition sides to go be a spokesperson for Obama. And looking at them and going, I just don't like I disagree with any of the. I didn't go into the one that I got. Do you remember getting some of those?
I got an anti-Pelosi one, and I was more than happy to do it.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I was more than happy to do it. But I remember so many of my friends like, you really want to put your face on an anti-Pelosi ad? I was like, yeah. No, I think that'd be great.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
to.
yeah.
I absolutely like to attach my face to that. No fear.
That person who yelled, and that was definitely a plant. No, people who say that, like, seriously say that this is an inspiring person that you can believe in, and that
He's
the shit.
compassionate.
It's
He's
just
compassionate.
he brings up these stories of sadness, and look, it's what happened to his family in the past. I don't know the full story about it, but anytime people lose loved ones, even if they're awful people, they're still going to be sad. And
Sure.
you know, that sucks. It fucking sucks. And that doesn't mean he has the right to fucking exploit that for the rest of his life and get sympathy to win votes and then turn around and say, they're going to need more than guns. They're going to need F-15s because that's fucked up shit.
He ruined the guy's life who got in the car accident with his wife. He ruined that guy's life. He lied and said it was a drunk driving accident. It never was. It was just an accident. The guy was not found guilty of anything.
Yeah, so that's the story he tells, that it was a drunk driving
He tells
accident.
the story all the time that it was that his first wife was killed by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, he does tell that
And
story.
he ruined
I thought he
guy's
said
life.
his first wife was killed in Iraq as a soldier.
Yeah, she was shot in Iraq. I'm surprised he didn't talk about Beau Biden to all those moms there.
Yeah, I if he didn't lie so much, he's just so you can see how he's programmed to lie. You pointed it out.
I know. They never say what it is they want to do. We know what it is. We don't want to take your guns away. Well, sure sounds like it. Sure sounds like you basically want to let me just have a .22 revolver.
Yeah, right.
That's what it sounds like.
The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants, of both of them.
Okay, so I was
It's
right
a
on
natural
both.
manure. Yeah, you were. You actually had it right. You could have done that speech better than Joe Biden.
Well, I am going to run someday for homeowners
think you
association president.
I think you should, because those are the most corrupt organizations on the face of the planet. I tell people who are big believers in big government, I say, you think that big government won't get corrupt? Encourage your friendly neighbor to run for president of the HOA. And if they win, see how fucking quickly they become a tyrant.
The guy who's president of my HOA has been president for like the last 10 years, and he won't hold a vote because he says he can't get a quorum. So I just haven't had the time, but I have thought about knocking on everyone. I'm a likable guy. I go out and talk to my neighbors all the time. If I just went out and said to them, hey, you tired of this, that, and the other? I was thinking about running for homeowners association president. You want to get a quorum going? I bet you I could do it.
You probably could. I tell you, anybody who lives in an HOA, if you're having problems with your HOA, I've actually taken on a few HOAs successfully when they fucked with either us or friends of mine. And what they rely on, just like communists, just like the tax code, just like legislation, just like everything, is they rely on people not knowing or reading what the covenant of a neighborhood is. And that's a lot shorter to read than the entire tax code or all the
A
legislation.
lot less complicated.
And a couple of but a couple of times I've seen these HOAs fucking with us one time, and then a friend of mine another time. I read the thing back and forth like 4 times, almost committed it mostly to memory, and then I spent the next month before the annual meetings, and you go to the annual meetings because they hope you don't go to them. And I found where the people who were on the board. You don't want to mess with the other people in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They're not messing with you. You find the people who are on the board, the 5 or so people. You go around and you document, because everybody's in violation of something.
Of something. Absolutely.
And you go around documenting every violation and every contradiction and everything that they think nobody is going to bring it on. And then you go to the meeting and you don't even have to bring it up. You simply speak more knowledgeably about the covenant than they ever could. And they realize you fucking mean business, and they back down every fucking time.
They're like, holy shit, this guy has a lot of free time. He's overeducated and he has a lot of free time.
For me, it was you pissed me off. You fucked with us. You tried to get us to you forced us to put a new yard in because you thought we were an easy target because we were partly out of the neighborhood because our parents had died. And so once they hit you with one thing, they hit you with another. But when you see every fucking yard in the neighborhood, because it's the dry summer kills everybody's yard, then you find out, because I did the research, that the treasury of the HOA board has the worst fucking dead yard in the neighborhood. Then you go, oh, I wonder if they got a letter and were told that they were going to have to get their yard fixed, or their yard would be trespassed on by the HOA's people, who, when you follow these stories, there's so many stories about HOAs finding that one person who they think isn't going to fight back. They picked the wrong person with me, but they often don't. And because people get overwhelmed with that shit, and they don't know what to do, because the whole neighborhood gangs up on them, or the board does, and they hit them with fine after fine after fine, and then it can put their house on a lien, and then they can mortgage the house, or they can put the house on foreclosure, and somebody who in that neighborhood might be able to benefit because an adjacent property owner has a special interest in buying a home that's connected to it, because the value of it for them is called plottage value, and it's far more than anybody else who buys a home. And I found all this out because I knew who was behind all this shit, and this shit goes on all the time. But what you find out some of these people do when they send these contractors onto your property who are their vendors, they don't let you do it your way. You have to do it their way. It turns out it's their brother or it's their cousin, and they're just laundering fucking 100%. Money to the tune of millions of fucking dollars.
Yes.
And it's so many stories like that. And I'm not saying everybody even actively chooses to get involved in that. I'm saying that all it takes is one person doing it and other people not stopping it.
I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said something to the effect of, any man can handle adversity. The true test of a man is how they handle success.
The HOA? Oh, I think it's the
and HOA. The HOA. Yeah, well, I should have if I was funnier.
No, you're right, yeah. No, are you going to be a dick when you're successful?
Yeah, you're going to be a dick when you're successful, or are you going to act with integrity?
Are you going to be an asshole, or are you going to be Keanu Reeves?
I fucking love that guy.
I do too.
He's like, dude, he's like an imaginary figure. Like,
is he real? Is Keanu Reeves? We don't deserve Keanu Reeves. He's like puppies,
dude. When you think about how his life started, the career really started.
A lot of tragedy too.
It was a lot of tragedy, but it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? And dude, that dude has, for the most part, had a pretty excellent adventure. He's had some tragedy. But
he's had like a lot of personal tragedy. A lot of personal tragedy in his life.
A lot. But
he I love the videos of him sitting and hanging out with homeless people and chilling with them, and like he's probably weird, but like he's like the kind of weird I think would be kind of cool. He doesn't come off as a prick.
It'd be fun to go ride motorcycles with him. Right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a Keanu Reeves fan. So I've been getting text messages from Jimmy Kimmel and from Julia Roberts recently. Ian, have you been getting Julia Roberts?
I'm on the do not call list, and I haven't gotten anything, dude. Not a text, not a phone call, nothing.
I got this one from Julia. It said it's Julia Roberts with a picture that I think that is a bit, I don't know, a doctored or older picture. Julia's pretty, don't get me wrong.
She is pretty. But yeah, she's definitely touched it up a little. I mean, but she's a pretty woman.
It said like this whole
Sure.
you know that movie, her character is from the town I went to college in,
Oh, wow.
Milledgeville, Georgia, and I have to tell you the prostitutes look nothing like that there. Julia Roberts, it's like this whole thing. Are there people getting this message going, "Oh my God, Julia Roberts just texted me"? I mean, maybe.
But one lucky and a crucial to join us.
Well, yeah, the whole thing says it's Julia Roberts, George Clooney, and I are meeting up with President Biden and
okay.
and Obama at a crucial time in the election. Which I'm saying this is the pretty woman experience nobody wants. Nobody wants to get in line there, and they're inviting one lucky grassroots supporter and a guest to join us. Here is the best link to chip in for any amount. I just don't know who this is going to win over that they don't already have. I don't know who this is appealing to. It feels like they're not even trying.
Yeah, it's they don't know how to do anything else. They've forgotten.
They used the Edward Bernays, who was one who championed this whole bring the celebrities in to make the presidents look cooler. Which I mean, that's always a thing throughout time. You recognize that, but he made it as he called it, a science of propaganda. This was a Washington Post title here.
But that's not what's in anymore. What's in is Joe the plumber. That's what's in.
TikTok dancer and shit like that. You know, yeah, people are fed up. People are tired of the disconnect between like the Hollywood shit and regular people.
Hollywood's
condescending,
man. Come on. None of the movies are any good anymore. They're
Dude,
blow.
You know what I had to do the other day? The other day, I had to sit and decide: do I want to watch two mothers, lesbian mothers,
No, I don't even,
scissor in space, and watch The Acolyte on Disney Plus, or do I want to flip it over to Netflix and watch two dudes banging in the shower for 2 episodes on Baby Reindeer on Netflix? It's a tough decision.
Yeah, I mean, were people this inundated on TV with straight sex?
I don't know, dude, but I tell you this: Baby Reindeer, they tell you, is about a big, large heterosexual British woman who was a stalker to somebody who was an aspiring stand-up comedian / bartender. That's not what it's about. The show's about gay sex, is what it's about, because it's like the twist in the show, because there's like 2 full episodes. Is like the twist is that the gay shower sex between 2 dudes just never ends. That's the twist, and then at the end of the episode, you realize you just watched 45 minutes of gay porn on Netflix.
Wow.
And then 4 episodes later, because it's like, surely they can't continue with the gay sex. It's like, I can't stop watching this Netflix. Like it's like over the top.
I'm just more interested in watching what people can do on a shoestring budget with limitations. You know, I mean, we've seen, I mean, come on, man, like every movie now is like a ride at Universal Studios, you know, and I get, yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. And then there's too much, there's just no good gritty indie films in movie theaters anymore. I don't know where you watch them. There's no video stores anymore. No. If anyone knows where I can find really good stuff, please let me know. Because
it's tough to find stuff.
It's really, really hard to find good movies. I just go back to I just go back to the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and I just watch all that stuff over and over.
Yeah, sometimes I rewatch
early
Baby
2000s
Reindeer
comedy. Yeah, then Baby Reindeer,
of course.
You know?
So you guys are talking about grass over there on Rockfen. What's the conversation going on over there on the topic of grass? A study published last year that modeled heat wave related blackouts in different cities. It showed that in a 2-day blackout in Phoenix could lead to the deaths of oh wow, yeah, no, those blackouts were I believe that, like, if the grid shut down, chaos would happen. I don't know if the Rockfin feed went out. Something happened on my, had a little bit of a glitch. Yeah, no, it is. Like Netflix, and you know, Netflix shouldn't have to be good. I don't need Netflix. I don't need Disney Plus. I don't need any of that. But it's just, you see these things that are trending and they push it in your face, and it's like, these are very obvious themes that they're pushing in your face, and they want to make it cause division. It's, for me, it's like, I don't know. A lot of people have been commenting on Caitlin Clark and in the WNBA, and they're trying to make it racial because they're doing controversy marketing, and they're trying to draw attention and ratings to the WNBA, which they're successfully doing. But when and people are probably going to, I'm on a little bit of a different opinion on this than others. There's nothing unique, in my opinion, going on there other than the way the media is framing it. What's going on with Caitlin Collins getting a shoulder, it's not unique. That's what you do. I think we talked. I don't know. We talked about
the bigger thing. Yeah, I think the bigger thing is the snub, the Olympic team snub. You know?
Well, so the Olympic team snub. There's never been a rookie make the Olympic team. If you're doing it based on marketing, then yeah, you put her on the team. But if you're doing it based on the way you've always done it, then you don't put her on the team.
Fair enough.
And the other Caitlin Collins Clark got knocked down by the black girl, and they said, why didn't a teammate stick up? Well, the other chick, the black chick who's a rookie, she got chokeholded and thrown down. They only show that on Caitlin Clark to bring up the racial division. I played basketball, and you played basketball. I've been the only white guy on a court a number of times, and I've gotten to some heated battles, some fights, like bloodied up. And one time I played with this guy. He was the leading scorer at our college, and he was a little bit older. He didn't go there anymore. I was offered a spot on our college team, and people see me, they don't expect you to be that good. But then when you are good, they get offended by it and they start playing you a little tougher. And with Caitlin Clark, she's getting all the hype. And of course, when you get all the hype, you're getting all the attention, you're going to get a little bit of a welcome to the league. I would expect them to do nothing different. And Caitlin Clark and that other chick are buddies. Like they hug each other and shit after.
They did the same thing to Jordan when he was a rookie. They do it to everybody.
Exactly. So it's an initiation thing, and I got that playing with. You don't up your game until you go and play with people who are at another level, and they rough you up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I remember the first time it happened to me. This guy, he's like 6'6", probably 240. I mean, just a massive rip dude. At the time, I'm just under 6 feet, and I'm probably about 165 or so. And we had we battled. Like he hit me on the court, and I was bleeding, and I was like doing what I can to push back at him. But I was playing well, and he was playing well. I saw him 2 days later at a gas station on my way to class, and I walked into the gas station. He was on his way to work. He's dressed in a suit, like jacked. And I look over at him. I'm like, is this guy gonna whip my ass? Because it was one of the most heated games I ever got into. And he looks over at me, smiles brightly, and gives me a big fucking hug. and because the competitive shit is on the court, but off the court, and people don't realize that's what this is. The media is just spinning it to try and do controversy marketing.
Absolutely. And I was listening to a really good interview with Trump the other day. Should I? Anyways, I'll just say it. He's on the Will Cain show. He did an interview not too long ago, and Trump said the same thing. Trump said, the reason I didn't put Hillary Clinton in jail, the reason I didn't pursue that is because, he goes, have you ever seen the UFC or a boxing match? And those guys, leading up to it, they hate each other. But afterwards, they're hugging. They're like, oh, that was great. He goes, and I had won. And I didn't want to be a sore winner. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said, which I thought was indicative of what you said he would. I think he might do that because, I don't know. I do think that when they say that Joe Biden ranks higher in compassion, Trump is a New Yorker. He is going to sound really rude, but when you look at the actions that the guy does, the orphan would rather wake up at his house on Christmas morning. I'm sorry. He just, I just think he's got.
I agree with you.
A little bit more class.
That's actually a really great question to ask people. Is whose house would they rather? Because even if you hate Trump, what's he gonna do? He's gonna tell the Proud Boys to stand back and stand tall.
Proud Boys, advance.
Yeah. Get this person. So I said something about the hardcore dykes are extremely territorial creatures, and there probably is some animosity for that. I don't know. I don't know that world. Maybe there is, but what I notice about it is the other girl, the black girl from LSU, who was kind of Caitlin Clark's rival. She's also straight. So to me, it's like when they isolate it to Caitlin Clark, they're only showing those, and they're not highlighting the fact that really what's different.
Man, what's that locker room?
Is that the
like
other girl's
in the
black?
WNBA?
Do what?
What's the locker room like at the WNBA?
Nothing but scissoring. It's just scissoring waterfall, man.
Imagine if the majority of the guys on the NFL were gay.
We're just all banging each other in the locker room, and you walk in and you're like, "Hey, you guys want to go get some?" It's just nothing but, Pete Buttigieg. Speaking of which, on the screen right now, the bottom whisperer. We'll see you now back there. This is a Washington Post title, which I tweeted along with that photo right there.
Gracious. That man.
That's a very serial killer
Brian
face
Stelter,
right
that
there.
man.
Brian Stelter, whose new job, people think he got fired, and he did get fired from CNN, but he got a promotion, and he, along with other things, he's working with young journalists at, I believe it's a Stanford Observatory. So he's cultivating the next generation of bottom whisperers, I guess. So, Ian, what? Anything on your mind you want to get to before we get out of here?
Man, I think we've covered most everything.
We've covered the entire. We've covered single.
Yeah, we covered just about everything that I can think of.
I don't think we covered this though, dude.
Oh, what is that? I can't see because
you can't see that, dude.
My camera's in the way of. I don't really see your face when we do the show, Brad.
Well, so for those watching, what you're looking at here is this. This is I believe it's from India. This was my great uncle Will's. He died when he was close to 100 years old, when I was just a teenager, years and years ago. But we always had kind of a bond the handful of times that I met him. He was a bit of a jokester, even in his old age. And he traveled a lot. And my dad, when he had very smart, wrote all these notes about the things around the house and family stuff. For those who are looking, Ian, this is
it's a topless woman. I can see her. You can't. You're just partially blocked. Not completely.
Yeah. So my dad wrote the backstory. This was great. This was your great uncle Will's. He got it from traveling from it. These are probably 100-year-old titties you're looking at. And my dad wrote,
wow, they're pretty firm.
It's a wooden statue from India, and it's very perky, is what my dad had written on the note.
Perky 100-year-old
that I found. Like you don't get that stacked. Like this would be a star in the WNBA locker room, here, even with a hat on. I mean, that's a good looking. This is the chick that did Pilates even 100 years ago in India, right there. But it's like a beautiful statue, and there's like a whole collection of statues like this. I feel like this is like National Geographic's if National Geographic's like got married to Playboy. It's the combination. Because the National Geographic's nudity is not necessarily the nudity you want.
No, but sometimes it was the nudity you could get.
It's what you
it's what you could get.
Right, that's all you could do in our day. You didn't have your smartphone.
You just had to luck out and just say, I wonder if that dumpster has some thrown away porno mags.
Right, or hope you could find your dad's stash while they were gone for 10 minutes.
Did you ever find porno in the woods?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I remember finding a stash of magazines in the woods. There was.
Did you find any rope and chloroform?
My buddies and I find this stash of magazines, and then it was like, hey, who's got the magazines? And so we have to trade them with each other. So all summer long,
oh, gross.
We're like 13, and everyone's like, hey, I'll give you this one, give you that one.
Yeah.
That's
remember Cinemax? If you could get Cinemax free at a hotel or something.
Or the squiggly line, and every once in a while.
Channel 99, you get a boob to pop in. Yeah. That was great.
Those were the days.
Those
Life
were
was
the
simpler.
days, dude.
You know what I say about those days, Brad?
What?
There was more space between moments.
Absolutely. Time to breathe. Something we've lost these days. Reflection.
Yeah.
And squiggly line boobs. Yeah. All right, Ian. You want to direct anybody? I know you've been working on some stuff. Tell people where they can find you.
Oh, it's not complete yet, but I am working on some things. I just have a full-time job as well, so I have to chip away at this stuff in my spare time.
Ian hired a trans.
No, I didn't. No,
he did.
She showed up one day.
He hired a trans
just to show you that I am a good person who won't judge anybody. I did.
He tried to be inclusive in it.
I hired Look, this was a female.
I got duped by they.
I hired her, and then she said, by the way, you can just call me Murphy. And I'm not even kidding. And then after one day, she stopped showing up. So I've been running the show by myself for 2 months.
Right. What was the problem with? Did you misgender?
No, what's even better than that, Brad, is no, I didn't misgender her. They had an emergency. some kind of family emergency. And then 48 hours after quitting, they call me and say, "Hey,
Can I grumpy?
Can I have the job back?"
Yeah. Did you say?
"No." I said,
yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
but you're
"Yeah,
a
I think-
cis when you come back.
Yeah, I said, "Yeah, but you better come back with some lipstick on and some heels
And some of these babies right here.
and some of these big old perky boobies.
Yes.
You go home,
All right.
take a look at this picture, and come back looking like that."
Absolutely. Then you can have the job. I just think that's, yeah. So Ian's been working a lot. Ian is usually doing the show after a long day at work. So I appreciate
But I
him
love doing it. It's honestly, I told you before, it's my lifeline. I love it.
Yeah. And we're still looking at venues. I'm looking at hopefully maybe setting an August date for doing like a live podcast / comedy show, Ian, if you're available. And, at the end of the month, we have Trump doing his debate with Biden. I want to talk to Josh and see if maybe we can live stream that from the studio together or something like that. Might be fun.
Yeah, and we were also thinking about, I think maybe fake Trump can have a rally or something.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Well, so yeah,
We got a lot of fun ideas coming up.
yeah, we're gonna execute. We're gonna execute on them.
Yeah.
So look out for that.
Look out for
And
some execution.
execution, not like Biden says it.
That's gonna be another warning under. You're gonna have like a stack, like 6
I
warnings.
got nothing but warnings, dude. I've been getting suppressed for so long. It doesn't even phase me anymore. I get videos taken off every single week. It's bullshit. But that's the fight we got to fight. We got to keep talking. We got to keep running our mouths, because if we don't, then that's what they want. So keep running your mouth, and we'll talk to you next time. Propagandafight.com. Have a fantastic rest of y'all's day. Thank you for all the great stuff in the chats. Later, dudes and dudettes.